People of Reddit. Why is it that the death of a stranger can sometimes affect you more than that of a family member? That's because strangers care about how other people see them and try to be as good as possible. Family members assume that you'll automatically like them no matter what because they're family. I think it's because you put social stock in them and their success. Same idea as rooting for your favorite player or favorite team. I'd have a similar reaction if Henry Cavill suddenly passed away. I would miss the future content he would produce. Same with Chadwick Boseman for many others. I think it depends on how much you care about the family member. I like strangers a lot more than I do my family. You know exactly how terrible your family is, but you have possibly only seen the good side of the stranger/celebrity. When you stare at the blood, it's not hard. Personally, I never got along with any of my family. Even to the black sheep of the family, I was a black sheep. So, I never bonded with them. However, as a result, I suppose, I tend to get easily attached and emotional when it comes to watching or reading. Especially if it involves a life from start to end. Seeing the relationships they develop, the lives they impact, the amount of people who care. It gets me, especially since to this day I'm not really capable of forming relationships with people unless they force it on me. Then one step further, when it's an actor or actress, the amount of lives they affect with their work, even if it's someone they never met or ever would, just hits me. Mine was Steve Irwin, childhood hero. You might not grieve properly if it wasn't someone you knew well. Let me guess, Chadwick Boseman? You guessed right. It fucking sucks. Is this about Chadwick Boseman? Because I've heard about people I know personally dying this year and I didn't felt anything. But this morning had me so much depressed I can't even say. It's a concept called a parasocial relationship. Basically a one-sided relationship where you know about, think about, care about the other person, even though they may not even know you exist. It's fairly common with all level of celebrities, fans of movie stars, musicians, YouTubers, anyone. It's often used in a negative sense, such as with the middle-aged moms who were fangirling over Edward Cullen in Twilight, but it can also refer to any sort of hero relationship. Let's take Chadwick Boseman, because let's be real, at this point in time he's probably the one who inspired this question. Even though he doesn't know who you are, even though you've never met, he's still been an inspiration. He's played amazing characters in amazing films. Thurgood Marshall, T'Challa, Jackie Robinson, he's had an incredible run in film. As a result, he's touched many lives, and in a way that family often can't. Who's more inspiring, Black Panther or your middle manager uncle? For me personally, it was John Glenn. Huge inspiration as a kid growing up, really helped foster my love of space and science, and then when he died a few years ago I had to leave work early or else I would have broken down at my desk. This coming from someone who hasn't cried at any family member's funeral. It doesn't matter how close you are by blood, what matters is how much of an impact they had on your life, on what you value, on who you are. Legit felt this way about Chris Cornell. Rip dude. Gonna listen to Show Me How to Live and Hunger Strike now. I still think of Chester as well and get extremely sad days listening to LP music. Because I had a more close relationship with that stranger, who didn't know me. Like I have listened to Linkin Park since my childhood. I even remember seeing the music video in the end on TV. So when Chester Bennington died it hit hard, and also Michael Jackson. I will always see him as the purest human ever, and I loved his music since childhood too, and always thought I one day could come to one of his concerts. So basically it's just these people had more impact in my life than the relatives I only saw occasionally, some even month or a year apart, while I had listened to these singers almost every day and I have fond memories of them. I also remember listening to Numb when I was goth, so these songs had an impact in every part of my life while the family members didn't. I don't speak for anyone else, but I am a long-time victim of incestuous rape, half-brother for 11 or so years, physical and verbal abuse, father, negligence, brother and mother, and all that fun family stuff. Relatives mostly ignored everything. Family fell apart when I was 16 and even further when good old daddy abandoned his wife of 30 years for his brother's ex-wife. Through all this time, 32 now, I only had celebrities in writing, television, and video games to get me through hard times, so when one of them dies, it hits home harder. My immediate family is trash, shrug. The world's the same size, mate. There's just less in it. It's fun to know that the people you've known about and had fun watching or reading about, are out in the world. They make new materials, whether it's movies, TV shows, books, scientific research, or social commentary. We have a parasocial relationship with them, as someone has pointed out, far better than me. When they are gone, their potential for so much more goes with them. And the world does feel like there's just less in it. For me, it was Stephen Hawking. I know I'll feel like there's a hole in my life when Stephen King goes too. I grew up with his writing. You also said about Chadwick. No, someone is cutting onions at this hour. May as it relates to me there are certain family members, or shall I say ex-family members, who if they died I'd be completely unaffected by it. Maybe that's because of what they put me through, maybe that's because I think it would be best for society. I don't really know, but a decent number of my family is dead to me already and I'm all good with that. It's vicarious grief, compassion, and the elusive friendship you've cultivated as unilateral but also disquietude that a venerated celebrity isn't infallible. One of the implications of fame and obscene wealth is invincibility and superlative healthcare. We deify celebrities and with it the connotations of immorality and resilience are invoked. It doesn't affect me more than a family member, but celebrities, especially those lionized as luminaries, occupy an embellished position in their fans' minds. For me it's not so much about the individual's death. I'm not a follower of celebrities nor a fan of anyone really, but the way it impacts others around me, also impacts me. Basically, I feel sad for them. But only sometimes. I have a good relationship with death and generally someone actually dying doesn't affect me. I am fucking going to lose my shit when Mel Brooks and Betty White die. And Carol Burnett. I have Asperger's and it's really fucked up, but I get more attached to things than people. My grandmother died last week and I felt nothing, but when my dry cleaners lost one of my random shirts I felt more of a connection there. It fucking sucks seeing my family devastated while I have no idea what they are going through. Kobe and Chad Boseman. The Black Mamba and Black Panther in the same year, they were 41 and 42. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't a Kobe fan until he retired, but I always respected him. But their deaths is fucking with my emotions. Stranger made movies that made me happy. Aunt Caroline was an alcoholic bitch. I was shocked at how much David Bowie's death affected me. Sometimes listening to his music still makes me cry. For me it was Casey Calvert. I loved Hawthorne Heights, haven't listened to them since RIP. Strangers don't hurt you. You have an idealized idea of them. Family members can be assholes. I'm the wrong guy to ask. I cried when a volleyball died. A volleyball. Wilson. I don't know about you, but I hate some of my family members. For me, that's a matter of how they passed and if I saw it. Or how it affected those who did know them. A grandparent passing of old age is sad, but normal and not an unusual event. However, hearing the girl who you saw all the time hanging with your friends swallowed a bunch of pills and killed herself can freak you up pretty bad. Especially if she was the blubberiest of the group.